Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about best growth strategies for a brand. First, we are going to be looking at marketing strategies. There are lots of ways to market a product, from developing an online presence to putting your product out there in the faces of customers and clients. Now, what do? You have to employ strong marketing strategies. First, you develop your online presence. You're going to be creating Facebook, TikTok, Instagram pages with your brand name, right? You create them, you talk about them. Now, if you don't have enough time due to whatever product or service you are rendering or delivering, what do? You get a virtual assistant who will handle your phone, take orders from customer and process their orders. Okay, you create a structure for your brand. Your brand should have a structure where you have a virtual assistant who takes order, because as your brand grows, develops and grows, you sometimes would not be able to keep up with lots and lots of order. So instead of you to lose your customer base because of a lack of communication with them, not responding quickly to their inquiries and their needs, what do? You employ a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant to take over your WhatsApp and attend to customers' inquiries, process their order, and the next unit or section of your brand will package the order and send them out for delivery. This way, it makes you to be able to deliver your products quickly and on time. Now, you're going to be looking at using Facebook ads. We are talking about marketing strategies. So, employ marketing strategies for brand growth, right? So we're going to be looking at your ads. Now, for your brand to be out there in people's faces, you having from uh, brand acceptance to brand loyalty, you would need to put out your brand out there. You're going to look at ads, advertising. Starts from social media advertising. You could do Facebook groups advertising. You can reach out to Facebook group leaders or admins rather, and you speak to them. You pay them some amount of money to advertise your brand for you, and they will advertise your brand for you. Okay, now you can look at Facebook sponsored adverts. Now you can pay Facebook to promote your product and keep it in the face of your target audience, that is people who will be interested in your products. So you're going to be paying Facebook, you could pay TikTok, you could pay Instagram to push out your products in the faces of people who are interested in your product or your service. Again, we are going to be looking at influencers. Okay, but what I would suggest is that you are the best influencer of your products. You have to push out your product first before you meet other people to push out your products. So you can as well get influencers to push out your product for you. You can get influencers to talk about your product, and of course remember that you are going to be paying them as well to talk about your product. And if it's a product that they have to use, it is always in the best interest of your brand to send them products for them to use and see how they work, so that they can be confident enough to talk about your product. So you can use influencers to push your brand out there. Okay, there are lots of influencers. All the social media platforms have influencers, and you can reach out to them and push out your products. So influencing deals, you meet them and strike the deal with them, and they'll push out the product for you. You can use billboards if you have so much money. Looking at adverts, we are here to talk about marketing strategies to employ. Now, if you're buoyant enough, it is in the best interest of your brand if you can be strategic enough to run adverts across all the social media platforms, including YouTube. So if you can, to the best interest of your brand, push out your product out there, even on YouTube, pay for YouTube ads, and push out your brand on YouTube. You will realize that your brand is going to be experiencing lots of traffic and patronage from your target audience, from people who are interested in your products. Alright, guys, we'll be flyers as a next marketing strategy we need to employ to push our brand out there. All right. So now you will need marketing materials. You'd have your flyer, your banner, your roll up stand, your compliment cards, as many as they are. Marketing materials you will need. You have to make them, get them prepared in order to market your brand. So you are not going to underestimate the power of a flyer, because you would also need to hand it over to your staff to do door-to-door marketing. You can do door-to-door marketing for your brand with the help of the flyer, right? So you also need to know that while preparing marketing materials for your brand, you will be needing a branded t-shirts, face caps for your staff, okay, with your brand logo, your brand, what your brand does, your brand website, okay, on the back of the t-shirt. Remember that this is also a very exclusive way of marketing your brand, because most brands now ensure that staff wear their branded polos, branded uniforms, okay, from their homes to the office. And so just imagine you in a public transport with a brand, and then you see their website. So you just pick up your phone and check, and then you love what you're seeing. So go forward, you go further to request for whatever you need. We are going to be looking at freebies. Freebies are very important in branding, okay? Now, for every time you have a brand, you should just have it behind your mind that customers love freebies. No matter how little those freebies could be, you'd have to ensure you have freebies. Just something that you used to say, thank you for sticking to my brand. Thank you for making purchases from my brand. Thank you for buying from us. You know, these are ways of making customers loyal, building loyal customer base. Remember, the most important reason why you're building a business, why you're building a brand, is to have loyal customers, because these loyal customers will end up repeating purchases a whole lot of times. So you need freebies to tell them, oh, look, guys, I appreciate all your patronage. I appreciate you sticking to my brand. I appreciate you repeating purchases over and over. Okay, remember, you're not the only brand out there, so you can produce freebies from key holders, you know, little things, key holders, pen, you know, you can do a notebook, a jotter, stuff like that, calendar. These are freebies you can pack up in their order. A thank you card that carries your brand. Okay, so remember that you will always need to include, make your freebies branded, right? It should carry your company's everything, your brand's everything, from its name, its colors, the brand logo, your brand slogan. So you should be able to say, if I'm giving these freebies to a customer or a client, it should be branded. Branded in the sense that if it's a pen, it should carry the name of your brand on it. Okay, and then if possible, the website, your brand slogan, and then you should be colored, it should be giving your brand color. This way, customers and clients will be able to stick to not just your brand name, but your brand color and your brand logo. And same should be done to other freebies like like key holder, um, notebooks, jotters, and the rest of them. There are a whole lot of gift items you could give a customer or a client. The next we're going to be looking at rebranding. Branding is basically for brands that are already out there. Okay, it helps you to restructure your brand, reposition yourself. You will start from your brand slogan. You could do a whole lot, repackage your products, maybe change your packaging item. All right, and this is very, very important. We're going to be looking at having packages. Packages is another way of branding your business. For instance, you have your brand bags, you have your brand envelopes, whatever item, whatever thing you use to package your products should be branded. This way, customers and clients will be able to stick to they will be able to stick to your product name, your product color, your product slogan, and your product logo. So for every time you're pushing out a brand out there, do your best to get a branded nylon. It differentiates you and identifies you in the midst of the competitive market. So we are going to be looking at joining business communities. So there are a lot of business communities that encourage trade fair. And for every time you take your brand along to a trade fair, you would not only make patronage, you would not only make sales and you will not only make sales, but you are also projecting your brand out there. You're also selling your brand. So you have lots of trade fairs, a lot of communities. If you are on Facebook, you can join them on Facebook. You can join them in WhatsApp. They have some business communities on WhatsApp. You can join them on WhatsApp, and for every time they schedule their trade fair, their community trade fair, you can join them, pay for a slot, and go for and market your brand. Okay, you can as well join. There are lots of communities on Facebook that talk about trade fairs, so you can join these communities and take advantage of their trade fair, register and attend this trade fair. Sometimes these trade fairs are actually done during festive periods, sometimes they are not. So for every time you see those community of business people or people that have brands come together talk about trade fair, please do register and go out there and push your brand out there. Okay, if you found this video interesting and it's what you've been looking out for, like, comment, share, and also subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you would receive notification whenever I drop new videos. I love you all, guys. Bye for now. See you in my next video. Bye.